When you look at me, the first thing you probably think to yourself is, man, this guy likes to party. This looks like a guy who's not only super tall, but also breathes life into any hootenanny that he attends. And you'd be right to a certain extent. I used to enjoy the old shindig back in college. I'd go out pretty often. And I saw a video today that reminded me of an extremely sad and embarrassing tale that I haven't thought of in a long time. So I'd like to show you the video that brought about this Winter Soldier episode within me, and then go over the video as well as this story that I'd like to tell.
Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow. You didn't even come close.
That's where the video ends, but I imagine he ran down the stairs, ran behind the house, started crying, and then just buried himself. Just fucking died there. It was so sad to see a man super excited to be getting tossed a beer. The local frat dudes were like, hey, this guy needs a fucking brewski. So they, fucking Amazon primed one. Now, it wasn't a great throw. That was definitely not a Joe Burrow caliber toss. And it nearly killed the guy. Fucking sent him over the rails for it. Because that guy was thirsty, right? And the only thing that quenched that thirst was butt chugging a Miller Lite across the street. So yeah, dude went ass over face, falling off the balcony, then hitting the deck and flopping like a fish down below. I'm gonna go ahead and toss this instant replay up on the Jumbotron, because I'm pretty sure this man exploded midair, like Mr. Potato Head. Just bits and pieces flying all over the place. His hat just got blasted off. I'm pretty sure he lost both of his shoes there. The G-forces damn near tore his clothes off as well. He was almost butt-ass naked by the time he hit the ground. Like, I don't know what went wrong, but there's just like so many clothing items that get lost on the small fall. But anyway, this brought out a repressed memory deep within me. It's something I haven't thought about in a while, and it made me very yucky feeling. I just cringed and thought it'd be something worth sharing with all of you before I once again locked that away forever, never to think about it again. This happened back in college before I retired from partying. I now no longer believe in fun at social gatherings, I guess. I just don't really party or anything anymore. And it was one of the first parties I had went to after getting to college. And I didn't really know anyone, of course, and I had already established myself as the weird, mysterious anime character, so I'm sure people had recognized me as a fucking psychopath before going to this party. So the fact that I showed up there probably already made people uncomfortable. I would have been in my sophomore year here, I imagine. I can't quite remember, but it was one of the first parties I went to, and that was like the only time I started going out. So I'm at this party, it's a house party, and there's a pool. They have a keg, they even have like a live band performing inside. It was just some like butt rock band that I'm assuming the members were students at the school. It was going all out, and as the night continued, I didn't really interact with many people, pretty much anyone aside from Andrew, who I went with. And, it wasn't getting a whole lot done, it wasn't drinking that much or anything, but towards the end of the night, as people started getting a bit sloppy, they started doing beer-catching trick shots. And it was cool. And I, at this point, thought, this is my chance. This is my time to shine. I can stand out and make friends by being the guy that makes a cool beer catch. Even though I'd never, caught a fucking Mach 5 thrown beer, because they were going hard. They're doing behind the back tosses, behind the back catches, and just fucking throwing that shit as hard as they possibly can and seeing if someone can catch it. And I was like, this is it. This is how I finally make a name for myself here. And one of the tricks that they did that I thought would be, my time to hop in is they were doing it over the pool. So they were doing cool between the leg tosses over the pool, and someone would go in, do a 360 and catch it before hitting the water. Then they'd come out, pop it open, and chug it like Stone Cold. They didn't shotgun it, so kind of pussy shit, if I do say so myself now. Hindsight's 2020. But anyway, I thought, this is it. I know I can front flip into this pool. I knew I could do it, and I thought it'd be the coolest thing those eyes had ever seen. I thought everyone would be uproariously cheering me, going wild, holy fuck, this dude just front flipped into the pool and caught a beer. I was running through this fantasy in my head. I was like, yep. This is how I do it. I'm going to be the coolest fucking dude on campus. So I teed up at the end of the pool, I'm queuing up, I'm ready. Everyone's still around the pool, cheering on cool catches, booing misses. And I knew that this was my time to shine. No one's paid any attention to me up until this point. No one is looking at me on the end of the pool there. So in order to get their attention, I start like clapping, you know, like, hey, I'm ready. Toss me the pigskin. Give me the rock. I'm ready. Feed me. So I'm clapping, trying to get like their attention. The dudes that are tossing the beers, like setting up the trick shots. And then eventually one of them does look at me. And without a second thought, the second we lock eyes, I just do a front flip into the pool. Barely, mind you. And I have my arms straight up and I don't finish the whole rotation. So I end up on my ass with my hands up in the air and no one throws a beer. So I just fucking shittily front flip into the pool. It looks like I'm probably drowning, like a ship going down as the sail slowly keeps sinking because my arms are above the water. I've already failed my front flip, so now I'm just sinking in shame. I pop up, there's no beer, and no one's even looking at me. I don't even get a boo. Nobody cared at all. It was the saddest fucking moment of my life. Like, if someone had just given me, like, a pity, woohoo, or like, aw, something, I would have been like, okay, not all is lost. But I got literally nothing. Straight up crickets. And then some other dude did a trick shot into the pool, and they loved that. Meanwhile, the fucking socially inept turbo virgin on the other side gets fucking nothing. And I don't remember exactly what happened next, but I can't imagine we stayed much longer. Because I do remember getting into the taxi soaking wet. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to air dry. I imagine what happened is Andrew felt my pain and was like, Charlie, let's get the fuck out. But I guess I just blacked out from cringe at that point because I can't complete the story. I just remember that, and man, it was sad. So yeah, this video really brought that demon back, brought that evil out of me, and I just wanted to share it with all of you because, you know, I don't want to think about it again past this point. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. I don't think I've ever shared a story about myself so embarrassing that it changes the way you look at me. I've shared a lot of embarrassing stories with girls and shit that I've had in the past, but nothing that's so goddamn game-changingly cringe-inducing that you vomit and think less of me until today. I was trying to think of a story that I wanted to talk about because I wanted to tell a really embarrassing one today, but I wanted to like amp this shit up to like the highest fucking level I could. So I was going to my past, of which there is a myriad of embarrassing stories to choose, but I wanted to find the perfect one. And then I remembered something that made me sick to my goddamn stomach. So I can't wait to share it with all of you. So to preface this happened in high school. The year is 2011. This was right after my third lung collapse. If you've been following me for a while, you know my lung collapsed 3 times. And the last time it happened was 2011. Well, in 2011, I got surgery to have it fixed. And before I went into surgery, there was a girl I had a crush on that had just added me back on Facebook. And I decided I'd send her like this goddamn scholarly "oorah, I love you" message to her. And we had never spoken. So this girl and I never spoke once in our lives, not even by accident. If I farted somewhere in school, there's no way she would ever fucking smell it because we were never even close to each other in any sense of the word. The only reason we even knew about each other, or rather the only reason I knew about her, was because she was a cheerleader and I played basketball. Other than that, no communication, literally not even eye contact. And yet for some reason, in 2011, I sent this girl the most disgustingly embarrassing messages when I was in the hospital. I haven't read them. I screenshotted them today, and I sent them to myself so I could read them to you today, and we can experience this together as a lesson in how not to ever approach a woman in any way. So allow me, please. Pickup artist legend Charlie is going to guide you through the how-don'ts, the do-nots of women. So let's go ahead and get into these messages here. So ace pussy slaying god Charles in 2011 leads with, I know you and I have never talked, but I just wanted to tell you that you are one of the most beautiful girls I have ever seen. Now some of you might hear that and think I came on a little too strong. Looking back on it now, hindsight's 2020, I don't think I came on strong enough. I should have led with I love you. Signed Charles, and then like a little kiss, and then maybe go from there. So after I said this, she responds with a simple question mark. Nothing else, just one character, a question mark. I was already in the hospital, but if I wasn't, that right there would have sent me to the hospital with fucking cardiac arrest. That shit hurt so goddamn bad at the time. But I mean, what can you expect when someone leads with some shit like this? This is the kind of shit you see on Twitter with like a bad English associated with it, with a send bobs and bitch lasagna, please. Vagina look good with penis and stuff like that. It's a creepy message. Any girl should respond with a question mark or nothing at all. But anyway, my spirits weren't deterred. I continued. Yeah, I'm in the hospital and just said, fuck it. It's worth a try. You probably don't think the same. You probably don't think the same about me, but I just wanted to say that. That's some nice guy shit right there. Jesus Christ. Well, this is pretty fucking bad. Let's keep going. To that she says, oh, I'm sorry, frowny face, but thanks, I guess. Why are you in the hospital? I'm surprised she even believed I was in the hospital, to be honest. You got a fucking stranger coming at you, pretending like he's going off to war and sending a love letter out there like it's some goddamn type of anime. If someone sent me shit like this, I'd be like, yeah, sure, buddy. I'm sure you're in the hospital. What do you have? Small dick syndrome going on? There's no cure. Get out of my DMs. I have recurrent pneumothorax in my left lung. It has collapsed 3 times, and tomorrow I have surgery to repair it. Sad violins playing, I'm sure, when I was typing this. I just wanted to tell you that before I had the surgery. I know that it is... Excuse me, I've got to scroll to the next one. It's a little out of order. 2019 Charlie clearly doesn't know how to fucking screenshot things in order. Here we go. I know that it is a weird way to start a conversation. I also know that I came on way too strong telling you that. Self-awareness, key. Even back then I had it. Even back then I'm like, Jesus, I'm sounding really fucking weird, but I'm still going for it. Didn't stop me. Should have stopped me, to be honest. Yeah, that's the lesson to take away here. Don't do this. You know, at this, when you're starting to recognize like, holy shit, this is too strong and I'm being very weird, just stop. Then she says something very odd. On behalf of all the YouTube comments, Charles, I hope you cut your hair. I'm not cutting my hair. She didn't say that. I'm just telling you, stop telling me to fucking cut my hair. I want to see what it looks like real long. I want to look like a goddamn lead singer in a mid-2000s emo band. Just let me fucking have this, alright? So anyway, she asked about the surgery and shit. Nothing to talk about there. But then, as we're starting to wrap up, I say, just wondering, do you know who I am? If you don't, I bet this is the most fucked up conversation you've ever been a part of. I mean, yeah, that's definitely a fucked up way of going about things, past Charles. Jesus Christ. I sound like some type of spoiled rich kid. Do you know who my father is? He invented Bing. I'm a big deal. Please, please love me, please. God damn it. I'm in the hospital. For God's sakes, do you know who I am? God, these are such embarrassing messages. She says, haha, no, I do know who you are. Like, I've seen you, but that's it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that sounds about right. I was a very odd guy. Odd looking, too. I had this really weird my hair looks like shit now, but back then I had an even weirder hairstyle where I shaved all, like, the side, the back, and the top of my head. Like, it was a one with the clippers, but the front was about as long as it is now. So everything was pretty shaven except the bangs. So yeah, I was a fucking lunatic. It'd be hard to forget it'd be hard not to see me and make fun of me. I was one step shy of like a trench coat fedora wearing fucking loser in high school. I really was. So yeah, it makes sense that she at least remembered what I looked like, because I looked like a goddamn fucking psychopath. So to that I said, oh, sorry. I bet this is weird for you, huh? The only way to make things like this not weird is to keep saying, yeah, this is probably weird, right? That way, it takes the tension off. It's like, oh, he's saying it's weird. It can't be weird if he keeps talking about how weird it is. All right, it makes sense. Like, pretty much every fucking line I say in here is about how weird it is, and yet I keep going. To that, she says, I don't mind at all. So then, in closing, this is my finisher. This is my Mortal Kombat fatality. My big grand finale here. All right, cool. Maybe when I get out of here, we can talk more so I can get to know you a little better. I'm not as weird as this conversation makes me seem. You know. Little pro tip to the ladies: don't take someone up on that offer. They most likely are pretty fucking socially inept. I certainly was, 100%. We never talked after this. I can't imagine why, but we never spoke or anything. Nothing ever came of this, unsurprisingly. However, I'm sure if we did, I would have been still just as socially inept talking in person as I was on the Facebook Messenger. So the lesson, ladies and gentlemen, don't be weird. That's always the advice I give to someone going into college and shit. Just don't be weird. Don't be super forward. Don't be super out there. Just be normal conversations. Let things, simmer, develop, sniff things out. Don't just come in there, guns blazing, fucking jerking off. I love you. Do you love me? Like, come on. Come on, 2011 Charlie. I look back on shit like this and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I never recognized how bad I was until, like, you know, you get older. So, you know, it's a pretty embarrassing story. Maybe it's not as embarrassing for listening to it, but for me, recollecting on this, it's fucking bad, man. Like, Jesus Christ. That girl was probably scared for her fucking life, thinking I'd be tossing pebbles at her window late at night at like 2 a.m. Hey, did you think about me in the hospital? I'm alright now. You want to talk? Shit, man. Well, that's the end of the story. Another nice tale for the compendium of awful interactions I've had with women, all of which being my fault from my past. So, yeah, fuck yeah. That's it. See ya. Porn, the great uniter. The one force that ties strangers to strangers in a way they don't even realize. The one thing every human being has in common, the love of porn, the art of porn, the ethereal beauty of the craft. Now, as the title of the video suggests, I used to watch the same porn video for the better part of 2 years, perhaps a little longer than 2 years, but I'm going to say 2 years just to err on the side of caution. I've made it no secret that I refuse to get a haircut at the moment, and that I also used to have very bad OCD. Not your generic, watered-down, bullshit, meaningless version of OCD where you move your car keys from the counter to the drawer because you don't like them on the counter. That's not fucking OCD, you goddamn bigot. Don't you hijack what OCD actually means. I had literal OCD, and one of my rituals was watching the exact same lesbian porn video for the better part of 2 years. And I want to tell you what happened as a result of doing that. Now, let's go ahead and start. The video was called Nice Pair of Lesbians. Let's take a moment of silence to remember that beautiful video from redtube.com. It is no longer on redtube.com. Okay, thank you for participating. The video still exists. I know, I get emails all the time like, hey, I found that lesbian porn that you used to jerk off to, you know, that used to haunt your fucking boners. Here it is. Yes, I know it's still on the internet, but in like 240 and 360p. On RedTube, it used to be 480. 480p or higher does not exist anywhere on the internet anymore. Trust me, I have looked. But that's besides the point. That's just to give you the context of what the video is. Maybe someone else out there used to also have OCD and jerk off to this video for 2 years straight. And if so, you're not alone, my brother, or my sister. You and I now share a cosmic bond, a bond stronger than the bond between a mother and her child. I love you. Now, it wasn't just watching this lesbian porno. I had an entire routine for it, like a choreographed dance routine for jerking off to this video. And I know I've talked about a little of this on the podcast before, but I still get emails asking me to talk more about that porno that I jerked off to for 2 years. So I figured I'd talk more about it. I also get emails asking me what's my Twitch account, and I'm glad you asked. It's twitch.tv/MoistCritical. Go drop a follow, subscribe. Love to see you over there. I stream daily. Twitch.tv/MoistCritical. Fuck yeah. But anyway, so this routine that I came up with, well, not that I came up with, that I kind of fucking cursed myself with and burdened myself with at the time. I would make certain facial expressions during certain points in the video. I would say certain things to the actresses in the video, and make no mistake, you goddamn delusional incels, the porn actresses are just that, they're actresses. They have a script of certain moves they're going to do. It's not like they're just fingering themselves and ass blasting their assholes with their fists for your enjoyment alone. It is a job, and they are actresses. Get it through your fucking skull. But anyway, I would say things to them like, oh, you're so hot, that's so sexy, I'm touching my dick to you, as if they could hear me, and as if I was communicating to them directly as like the director of this video. It was a really weird routine, it really was. To kind of give you a brief oversight of all of it, I'm not going to walk you through every step that I would do here. In fact, I don't even remember all of them anymore. But before I would watch the video, I would queue it up and let it all buffer and load, because this was a long time ago. I'm fucking using RedTube, so obviously it's a long time ago. And while it was buffering and loading, I would turn around from the video, so that way I couldn't see them, and they couldn't see me, obviously. And I would look at my penis until it was completely flaccid, entirely soft. So that way I was coming in there with like a clean canvas, and they were going to 100% get me from 0 to hero. So once I was certain that my dick was super soft, I would then sit down and get ready for the action. As it would start, I would say hello to the girls, and I'd compliment them on their beauty. The video started with a girl fingering herself, and I would compliment her on how great she was doing, and then the other girl joined in, and then I'd say hi to her, like, oh, hey, you just stopping by? Shit like that. It was really fucking weird. And honestly, I hope the NSA was watching during those times, because I would love to see those documents. I'd love to see that film. I think that shit would make for a really incredible case study on OCD, because that shit was goofy as fuck. And I would love to remember exactly all the shit that I would say. I don't necessarily want to see underage me jerking himself off into the webcam or anything. I could skip that part. But I at least want to see what I was saying to the girls during the video. But that's kind of how it went. Facial expressions, words and things I would say to the girls. It was always the same. I had to make sure I said the same things to the girls. I had to make sure I made the same facial expressions. I even made sure to keep track of licking my lips. I had certain time marks where I felt I needed to lick my lips at those times, otherwise I was disrespecting them. It was very weird. Now, I did this for, like I said, the better part of 2 years, and honestly probably a little bit more, but we'll say 2 years, and I didn't deviate from that video. I didn't venture out. That was my home. I lived in Nice Pair of Lesbians on RedTube, and they took my home away. It's not there anymore. I'd like to remind you all that it's not fucking there. It's a goddamn crime. It's a fucking sin what they've done removing that. But now, to tie it back to the title of the video, I watched the lesbian porn for 2 years. Here's what happened. What happened is I recognized how weird it was, and I started to really combat my OCD, and I started cheating on the porno by watching other videos. I did. I'll come out and say it. I fucking cheated on that porn video and watched other ones. And that's what happened. I stopped being so fucking weird through a lot of effort to try and combat my OCD rituals. I've talked about that in the past, so I'm not going to get into how I did that or the steps I took. But that's the result of watching porn for 2 years. You feel like a fucking degenerate loser, and then eventually you stop, hopefully, if you try hard enough. But anyway, that's the story for today. Thank you all. See ya. Many of you already know this, but magic tricks were a very big part of my childhood, and even into my adult elite gamer years in college I was dabbling in magic tricks. In fact, the very first video I ever posted on YouTube was of myself performing a magic trick, but I've since deleted it. YouTube still has it, and I guarantee they're still trying to crack the code on how I performed it. Luckily I deleted it though, because otherwise Randy Pitchford would have dedicated his life to figuring out how I solved that and just abandoned the Borderlands series. Fucking Randy Pitchford spent a year trying to figure out how a cam girl squirted so much. Imagine what he would have done if he saw my magic trick. The point I'm making is, magic was a huge part of me growing up. And today, I'm going to reveal to you a secret I invented myself to try and get laid in college. And this shit works like a charm. It's almost impossible not to work. You don't even need to be around women for it to work. If you just perform the trick in your own little isolation chamber, women will probably flock to you somehow, fucking rappelling down into your window. It's a very powerful magic trick, and I'm going to break the magician's code and teach you how I do it. I'm going to fucking full throttle sin, raw and no rubber. Magicians are going to hate me. Chris Angel's going to have a wet nightmare. David Blaine's going to throw in the towel and retire tomorrow, I bet. I actually taught people how to do this magic trick on my streams at twitch.tv/MoistCritical, and people haven't been able to stop getting laid. It's almost been a curse. Every time they do the trick, it's just so much pussy. So I'm going to now take the lesson I taught on stream and teach it to all of you over here on YouTube, and just hope that you can use it for good instead of evil. Now, there's an up-and-coming magician named Jerry Presley who actually performed this trick as he heard me explain it on stream. Performed it for these two women here, one of them looking like Alinity, might actually be Alinity, there's no telling, and he performs it very well and hopefully got a threesome out of it. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. First, you're going to need a deck of playing cards. They don't need to be as cool as mine, but these are my old bicycle ghosts, as they were called. Back in like 2009, 2010, there was like a really cool looking alpha Chad magician who was like flourishing these cards one time on YouTube, and I asked my parents to buy them for me, and I got them for like Christmas or something. But you don't need to be this cool, is what I'm saying. You can just use any old piece of shit deck of cards you want. You can use Yu-Gi-Oh cards if you wanted to. Now let me give you an overview of the trick. The objective is to get a phone number, man, woman, police officer, it doesn't really matter who, but it was to get an excuse to ask for the phone number. You don't need an excuse to ask for a phone number, but when you're a fucking 19-year-old college student who's pretending to be a mysterious anime character, it helps to have a fucking excuse, because you're just a fucking weirdo. But anyway, what I'm saying is, it's to get the phone number. So I'm going to perform it kind of for you guys here. So I'd say, hey, ma'am, I like those milkers on you. Those honkers mean business. Can I have your phone number for the sake of this magic trick with my ghost cards? And she'd be like, oh my god, are those real ghost cards? Jesus, I'm already wet, but yeah, show me the trick. So she gives me her phone number. I now send her a text with what card she is going to pull from this deck, and I'm going to give her a free choice of it, but she can't look at that text message till it's over. So I say, hey, you can't look at that, but just wait till after the trick, and it's going to blow your asshole wide open. It's going to be the coolest goddamn thing you've ever seen in your life. So, it's just small talk a little bit, and then I get to the trick. I just ask her to cut the deck, or I can flip through the deck. It doesn't really matter. But the deck ends up getting cut in two like this. It doesn't matter where. It doesn't really matter. And then I go ahead and put it on top of it so they know there's no trickery here. And then I let her take the card off the top because this is where she cut, and she takes the card, and it's the 7 of clubs. Okay? And I've texted her that already way before the trick even happened. So now the question is, how did I know that? Am I truly just the messiah of magic? The mind freak of madness? The torpedo of trickery? No, I'm something more. I'm a gamer. So my trick is literally one move and then just distracting the person. A single card force. Every card trick ever done pretty much uses a card force. What's a card force? It's exactly what the name implies. You're forcing someone to pick the card you know. The easiest one, the one I always used, was you'd close your eyes, you'd rifle through the deck of cards, someone would tell you stop right there, and you always know their card. That's the 4 of spades. It doesn't matter when you're doing it, it doesn't matter how many times you do it, you can just endlessly do this shit for as long as you want because you're forcing the cards. Stop. Oh, Jesus. Stop. 6 of clubs. You can always know exactly what card you're forcing on someone. How does that one work? You know the bottom card. So when you rifle through, they say stop, you're pulling the bottom card off, well, as long as you have a good grip, and you're always going to know exactly what you're giving them. I invented my own card force, though, and it's even easier. And I swear to God, I should have gotten a Nobel Prize for this discovery. This shit is almost as important as discovering gravity. This card force is a game changer in Magic. So all you need to know is the top card, 2 of diamonds. That's the top card, and that's the card they're going to pick 100% of the time in this trick. So you text them 2 of diamonds once you get the number, because that's 100% what they're going to pick. And now all it is a matter of distracting the person you're doing the trick to. So you have them cut the deck if they want to themselves and make another pile of it. They can ask you to, if they want you to cut it, you can cut it wherever you want. It doesn't matter where the deck gets cut. So let's just say for this time it got cut right down the middle. So now you have these 2 piles. They now give you these 2 piles, and now you start making small talk and moving your hands around. Sports, porn. Then you take this part, which is where they actually cut. This is what their card should be. But now you've distracted them enough, you've wooed them over enough where you put this on top, and then you set the whole pile down so that way they have the illusion that you're not messing with anything. You know, oh, my hands are over here, I can't do anything now, nothing crazy going on. And then you tell them that this card is where they cut, and hopefully they don't realize that it should be this one. So then you take this piece off, you have them take their top card, and of course it's the 2 of diamonds, because I mean, it's just the fucking top card, but they don't know that. They think this is where they cut when they had free choice, but it's not, because you have outsmarted them. You are the intellectual of the group. You're the enlightened Reddit atheist of this shindig. Again, I'll demonstrate. Top card, 6 of hearts. You say, hey, listen, lady, cut this shit. I've already sent you a text. I know what you're pulling. They cut it. Bang. You get 2 piles. You're distracting them. Bang, put that shit on top. Take your hands off. Tell them that's the card. They pick the card. 6 of hearts again. It's incredible how simple it is, and yet nobody ever figured it out. Ever. And no one could figure it out unless I told them. Because this trick is beyond intelligence. This has transcended magic tricks and become a cult movement in and of itself. It is fucking phenomenal. So please, ladies and gentlemen, after having revealed this remarkable secret, a top secret government secret, please use it responsibly. And when you use it, make sure you tell them it came from me. And then you link them to my Twitch channel and my YouTube and stuff. You give me credit for this discovery, this trick, because it's fucking huge. I'm unironically proud of that trick. I actually did get a few numbers with it. I never did fuck all with the numbers. But just the fact that it even got to that point and they could at least fake excitement and wonder from the magic is enough for me. And maybe it will be for you too. Maybe this will launch your social life or destroy it, one or the other. But yeah. That's about it. That's my big magic trick that I invented. So yeah. Hello, my friends. Happy afternoon to all of you. Christmas season is upon us, as I'm sure we all know, so please don't forget to leave out a joint and lighter and glass of milk for Santa Claus as he wiggles his fat ass down your chimney to deliver your Fortnite skins this year. Today, to get into the Christmas spirit, I thought I'd share a story. It's a story as old as time itself. I'm sure anyone out there can relate to it. It's a story of when I first tried to suck my own penis. All men have tried it. There's 2 types of men in this world. Men who have tried to suck their own cock, and liars. So obviously I have tried before. And I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on the podcast, but I figured I'd make this entire video dedicated to it because I keep getting emails asking if I suck my own penis, and Twitch chat comments have I sucked my own penis. So let's just tell the whole story start to finish the way it was written by Homer in the Odyssey. So to set the stage, I was probably around like 13 or 14, I'm not exactly sure when, and I was just starting to refine my palate and get a taste for what I liked from pornography and titties and stuff on the internet. And during this time I was very religious, so I was kind of fearful and ashamed of watching porn. I thought anytime I even touched my wiener, I was giving God the middle finger and he was ashamed of me and sad and he'd frown, so I didn't do it all that often. But occasionally the mood would strike me right and I'd Google image search for boobies and butts and vaginas and, get very excited looking at these things, give it 2 thumbs up and sometimes even save it to favorites on my folder. But anyway, one particular evening, I was extremely horny. I was Googling boobies left and right. I was like fucking Professor Xavier jacking into Cerebro. I was looking at boobies all over the place. I could see them all over the internet. And man, I was just really fucking feeling myself. I didn't jerk off or anything though, because like I said, I thought jerking off was a bit too far in the eyes of Christianity, and Google Images was tame enough where, I'd be forgiven. So I was looking at these images, and I eventually said, this is enough. I went to the bathroom, I was going to take my shower, I was still sailing full mast, I was hard as a fucking diamond, and man, I was just so horny, I would have fucked my own ass if I could. But anyway, I'm standing there super erect in front of my shower, and I look at my wiener, and I'm like, damn, that's my fucking winky doodle right there. It's going in my mouth. But I was never a flexible guy. I could never throw my legs behind my head and start nibbling on my ball sack or anything. I just was never flexible at any point in my life. But for some reason, I got the idea that I could absolutely accomplish the sucking of my own cock. So I attempted. I get like halfway down, and then I damn near need life alert because I thought I was going to snap my spine in half going for this advanced contortionist move. So I'm just locked in this fucking demonic pose, looking like Schmeagol admiring his precious in Lord of the Rings. And then I start to worry, like, damn, if I die here, the authorities are going to find my body looking like some type of sexual deviant. This is going to be the worst way of going out. I'm not even going to have like a cool going out story. It's just the obituary is going to read, yeah, he died doing what he loved, attempting to blow himself or something like that. He broke himself in half going for a self-blow job. That's not like cool at all. But I still wanted to keep trying. I wasn't deterred. I really thought I could pull it off if I just kept giving it my all. I started to get like anime inspired, like with the power of friendship and by never giving up, resiliency, persistence. And if I get real angry, I'll go Super Saiyan and suck my own dick real quick. So I kept trying. I probably tried for in total maybe like a minute, but it felt like an hour. And it just wasn't happening. I knew it wasn't happening. And then I decided it's time to pee, but I never really adjusted myself. I was still looking at my dick as it was looking at me. We're making eye contact. I was staring down the hole of the one-eyed snake there. And I started to, fire on all cylinders to pee. And it's a little harder to pee with an erection. It takes a little bit longer to travel up the urethra. So I had a little bit of time here. And it wasn't until the pee was about to reach the point of no return where I'm like, damn, I'm about to golden shower myself. My face is looking right down the barrel of this loaded gun. So like a fucking Matrix move or like a superhero move, I start peeing and I dodge it. I lift my head back up and then I just start fountaining it over myself, and I'm safe, I'm dry, I don't get pee in my face or anything, but I almost did. The point I'm making is, yes, I've tried to suck my own dick. It did not go well. God did not bless me with the gift of being able to suck myself off. And I'm sure most men probably can't do it, but there are some select few champions out there that can. And don't let any man tell you they haven't tried. I promise you, nearly every single man on this planet has tried to suck their own penis at one point or another. You don't have to be embarrassed. There's so many of us out there. Come home. Tell your story of sucking your own penis to friends and family to let them know that, yes, you're human. Yes, you've tried. Amen, brother. Take it easy, everyone. See ya. Anime is a word that inspires confusion, fear, and boners. On the surface, it's just another form of entertainment, but what it actually is a weapon. And like all weapons, there's the potential for misuse. This is the story of how I misused anime in my first year of college, and potentially led the entire student body to believe that I was some type of fucking lunatic who was one bad Naruto episode away from crashing his car into the side of the on-campus gym. It all started in high school. I was pretty reclusive, I didn't go out much, but I did watch a lot of anime, and it taught me 2 very important lessons. The first being, the power of friendship is the strongest force in the universe that not even God himself can compete with. Friendship probably led to the Big Bang creating our fucking universe. The second lesson being, the mysterious guy is always the coolest guy that big-tittied girls want to fuck, and smaller-titted girls want to fuck. And I really took that lesson to heart, and I super shouldn't have. Absolutely not. But I did, And what happened is, as I graduated high school, I realized that college was my chance to really reinvent myself and change what people think about me, my perception, because no one knows about me. In high school, everyone knew me because I went to a small school, so I couldn't exactly just kick down the door one day sporting a leather jacket and riding a Harley Davidson and have everyone think I was super cool all of a sudden. They'd probably just think I was possessed by the spirit of a 40-year-old father going through his midlife crisis. But in college, nobody knew me, so I could be anything I wanted to be. And man, I wanted to be the anime mysterious guy. And holy shit did it lead to a very embarrassing and lonely first year of my college. So my college anime opened up with an incredible season opener, just a beautiful introduction. On move-in day, the literal first time setting foot in college soil, being an adult, a full-grown, full-hairy, penised adult on a college campus. On move-in day, I had my dad helping me. And going to my dorm, moving in the elevator, there was a girl and her father who were moving in there on the same floor. And my dad was talking to her dad and her a little bit. I didn't say a word. I was too cool to say a word. My dad tried to throw me into the conversation. So he asked me a real softball question that even a toddler could fumble his way through. I don't remember exactly what he asked me, but it was something like, "Oh, are you excited to move into this dorm, Charlie?" And I'll never forget my response because I remember this verbatim. I said, "You know I can't talk about that, Dad." I don't know why I said that. I guess in my head I thought that she would think that was super fucking dope, like I was some type of super secret agent that can't talk about his opinions. But really it just came across like, wow, this is a guy that I should be afraid of. But at the time, it didn't register with me like that was a weird thing to say. I went through the rest of that day being really proud of that, like, damn, fucking nailed it in the elevator. College is gonna be great. I just expected, like, if we saw each other in the hallway, she'd just be overcome with ecstasy and just charge me like, "Charlie's son," and then give me a smooch on my smoochers. But in reality, as you can imagine, that never happened. And that was really just setting the tone for the rest of that entire year for me. I wanted to, and luckily Kaya talked me out of it, I wanted to put an Xbox disc of Psychonauts around a chain on my neck, so that way people would know that I like Psychonauts. It's not exactly mysterious because I'm kind of beating you on the urethra with, I like this, I'm clearly wearing it. But I was like, this is so different. This is totally what an anime guy would do, like the mysterious guy. Another thing that I wanted to do, and Kaya again talked me out of it, he really saved me from having an even more catastrophic freshman year of college, is I wanted to carry around a deck of cards and do magic tricks at house parties or just around campus to really make people be like, damn, that was cool. I need that guy's number. Who was that guy? That guy's super cool. Let's invite the magic deck guy back, the magic card trick guy. That super awesome and fun guy. I didn't end up doing that, but I did used to do some magic tricks at house parties, which is still embarrassing, but the cards were already there. I didn't bring them or like come up to people, "Hey, you want to see a fucking magic trick?" They were at least there. It made sense at the time. But bringing them around like a mysterious guy, keeping them in like a Ziploc bag, there was no coming back from that. If I went down that destructive path, I'd probably be behind bars right now just from scaring the general populace. Like, what is this guy up to with this deck of cards? This is a maniac. Get him off the streets, this menace. But now let's talk about the things that the social savior Kaya wasn't able to prevent me from doing. One of the biggest ones that I can remember is I used to go to clubs because I obviously wasn't really getting invited to house parties. Because who's going to want to invite the guy who doesn't talk because he thinks it's cool not to? Like, I would blatantly just avoid answering questions in class. If I got called on, I'd just blow it off like, "Oh, yeah." I wouldn't even give like a yes or a no. I wouldn't be like no, I don't know the answer. I wouldn't even give the answer. I'd just be like, "Oh, yeah." Just like fucking mumble it out like I was fucking overdosing on Xanax. So obviously no one was going to come out of their way to invite me to a house party. No one got to know me my freshman year. So I'd go to clubs by myself. And one time, it was New Year's, and I had these light up New Year's glasses. And they were some pretty fucking cool glasses, not going to lie. And I was wearing them around my neck because they were so bright I couldn't really see. I was basically just flashbanging myself when I was wearing them normally with the lights going on and shit. So I had them around my neck. And this girl came up to me and started talking to me about them. And instead of like answering any of your questions, I was playing it the same way I did everything else. I just didn't say a word. She said something about my glasses, but she fucked up and called them a necklace. She said something like, "I like your necklace. That's a cool necklace." They're glasses. How dare you fuck that up? But anyway, I just disregarded it and I stared at her blankly. Like a fucking robot whose programming just malfunctioned, or I just fell asleep standing up. But she kept trying to get me to talk to her, get me to open up. That goddamn hero, that trooper, she just kept really trying to pry me open. but it just wasn't happening. Getting me to talk and not be mysterious in my freshman year of college would be like trying to open up a dumpster and not have a wave of shit hit your nostrils. But she kept trying. She pulled out her shirt saying, "Do you like my shirt?" And it said something like, "Short girls know how to have fun," or something like that, or something to that extent. And I glanced at it, and then I immediately went back to staring at her without commenting on the shirt or even saying a word. I didn't make a noise. I didn't even make like a caveman grunt, like a Tim Allen. I didn't do anything. I didn't make a single audible noise. So I was basically just a fucking statue there. She tried again. She said something else about my necklace, and this time it must have just struck a chord, because I remember I pulled them off of my neck slowly and I put them on my eyes, and then I flicked them on the next setting, which was like this intense, glowing, like strobe light shit, like some blinding, banging strobe light shit. And then she walked away. I still didn't say anything because I just put them on my eyes and then turned that setting on and kept staring at her. So I don't blame her for walking away. And that was really when it hit me, like, maybe being the mysterious weirdo isn't going to pay off. But I still committed to it. I still kept going past that. That was New Year's, and we still had another 5 or so months of me being an odd, weird, anime-inspired, mysterious loser. There's really no other big events that really stick out to me, just a bunch of small stuff that I kept doing throughout the entirety of my freshman year. Like if it was raining and everyone was like, "Oh fuck, it's raining and I forgot my umbrella, I'm just gonna wait it out," I'd walk right by them, just kind of like wiggle my way through them, and then I'd just walk out in the rain like I didn't give a shit, like I didn't even know it was raining. Like I'd pull out my phone, much to the detriment of my phone, just be like, "Oh, rain? Too mysterious to feel rain." I really don't know why I ever thought walking out in the rain looking like some kind of dumb asshole would be cool or mysterious, because it doesn't fit either category, but that was another thing I'd partake in almost every time it rained. The only other big event that I can really think of, one that I still think about and it keeps me up at night and really haunts my boners to this day, is when I took an art therapy course towards the second semester of my freshman year. I don't remember exactly what it was. It wasn't art therapy, but it was something similar. It was just an art class basically where you express yourself. And I thought it would be amazingly mysterious and really get girls' panties super fucking wet, just sodden panties being tossed at me. Is every assignment I tried to make it as dark and bland as possible. So one of the assignments being, what do you think of your friends? You were supposed to do one about 12 friends. You make a drawing to represent each friend. And for mine, I did the same thing for all of them. It was a black box. I don't know why I don't know what at all was my thought process with that, but I just did 12 black boxes to represent all of my friends, and when I was supposed to present it, I gave them each a name, and I did name 12 friends. I'm kind of more acquaintances. I didn't really have any like super close friends or anything, but I did name 12 people that I knew and who also knew of my existence. And that just made me seem like I belonged in an insane asylum looking back on it. But at the time I was like, "Oh, girls love the troubled artist, the mysterious troubled artist. This is beautiful. There's going to be tears in their eyes. I already know it. I'm going to get an A on this project." Spoiler alert, I didn't get an A because she thought I just blew it off and goofed on it, so I got a D because I at least turned something in. But even still, I drew 12 black boxes. That's some shit that you see in a horror movie, like when the weird kid's scribbling shit on paper in a black crayon, and then you find out that the kid's actually a demon. That's that kind of shit that I presented to the class, and there's no doubt in my mind those students walked away deeply disturbed and afraid of me from that moment on. So, that's how I spent the entire first year of my college experience, emulating the anime mysterious guy. It wasn't until I moved out of my dorm and in with a new group of guys who put the kibosh on that shit and taught me how to be social, because they did not want to be living with some fucking weirdo that's trying to be an anime mysterious guy. So that's kind of that's how my first year of college went. The lesson to take away from this is don't emulate what you see on anime, because it's just not going to fucking work. Unless you have some like superpowers that you might, like some really fucking cool superpowers, you might be able to get away with being weirdly mysterious. But I didn't. The only superpower I had was being below average male height. But if you have some cool superpowered shit, maybe you can emulate anime to some extent and still be cool. But I couldn't. But I wouldn't recommend it to most people, the non-superpowered people out there. To the people that aren't X-Men, don't try and be an anime mysterious guy. Don't be weird. That's it. See ya. Today I wanted to tell a story I recently told on stream about the time I got scammed for all of the money I had at the time. I must have been 18, maybe 19. I was definitely still a virgin when this happened. Not that that's pertinent to the story, but just a little bit of lore there, a little side note. and my friend Andrew had come to visit me so we could party at my university. But unfortunately, when he came up, there were no parties, and if there were, we certainly weren't invited. The lacrosse bros did not want the gamer nerds coming in. So I've got my buddy Andrew over, and he's just eating fucking Reese's cups as we're doing nothing except playing like Tekken Tag Tournament 2. And then eventually we decided to find something else to do, and we found a carnival that had rolled into town. It was like one of those pop-up shop carnivals where they transport everything in on like a dilapidated school bus. So they scooted in and they set up shop nearby and were like, well, fuck it, we're not doing anything else. Let's go to this carnival. And I swear to God, when we got there, it looked like something out of Courage the Cowardly Dog. This place looked haunted. And we were basically like the only customers there. There was like a few children, or at least the spirits of children that were there, like hanging out, and they were riding the only ride at this carnival, which was one of those spinning rides, but it was like this giant horrifying metal contraption that just looked like a medieval torture device. It looked like a fucking transformer that had gotten hit with a stick of dynamite. It looked so rusted and gross. I have no doubt that was just a tetanus disaster waiting to happen. I don't even know if those kids are even alive anymore if they rode that fucking thing. But that's about all they had. They had that one ride and then a ton of shady carnival games. Not like the fun, goofy ones that you can actually win, you know, like the basketball one or shooting water into a target. They had only the rigged ones that you can't win under any circumstances. So this was less of a carnival that came in and more of just like a rolling scam that travels. But of course, I'm 18, 19 years old at the time. I'm a virgin, so all I'm really thinking about is titties and how I'm not seeing them. So, you know, I kind of disregard that, and I'm going around with Andrew, and we're playing a few of the games. Of course, we're not winning anything. Not even like those tiny stuffed animals. We're getting nothing. The closest thing we're getting to a prize is stepping on a used condom in the parking lot. Like, there's just really nothing that we're accomplishing. We're just wasting money and wasting time. To reiterate the location, it was literally in a parking lot in between two condemned buildings. That was the location. This fucking barren wasteland looked like something out of the Fallout universe. It would have been less gross to just wander through catacombs, because at least then we wouldn't have been losing money doing it. But I came to this with like $200 in my wallet or something like that, and we were playing through these games, not winning, and I'd gone down like 50 or 60 bucks. I don't remember exactly what, but it was a lot. Like, we were spending a lot of time just indulging in this filthy sin. Now, before I get to like the actual meat here of when I lost all my money and how this all happened, I want to drive home a point. I'm not exactly like a super gullible person, I don't think. I like to imagine like I'm a grizzly, chiseled man with hair on my sack, because as an avid RuneScape player, I know how to recognize a scam. I started playing RuneScape in 2005, and I got used like a fleshlight on that game. I was falling for a lot of scams. I once gave my fucking password away to a guy who said that he didn't think my password was cool. So to prove him wrong, I just gave him my password in order to impress him. And then I lost my account to him. Like, I was scammed a lot. And it was an invaluable lesson it taught me. When someone's trying to take advantage of me, how to recognize a scammer, and just like all of these red flags that should go off in people's heads when they're faced with a scam. I think every child should be scammed at some point. Teach them a valuable lesson. They don't need to lose their house or anything, or like get wrapped up with a crypto gambling scam or whatever, but maybe just like a small scale scam for candy. Teach them a little something. That I always believed that the lessons I learned in RuneScape through getting scammed would be very helpful, and so far they have been, but on that day, nothing could have prepared me for the scam that I was going to encounter at that godforsaken carnival. The game was the toss a ball off a backboard, make it land in a bucket, and you win one of the jumbo prizes, like the fucking wumbo-sized unicorns and bears and shit. So for those that don't know, the game is a wooden backboard, it's a big circle, and it's at an angle. It's slanted this way. Underneath it is a basket that's poking out just enough for a ball to bounce off the backboard and fall in the basket. And you only have to do it one time and you win the biggest prize. So this carnival's not very big, obviously. Andrew and I had passed this a few times, and it wasn't like there was some heavenly glow on it, like, this is the game for me, this is the one I want to play. But as we passed it for like the third or fourth time, the dude finally calls over. He's like, you guys are just wandering around, come over here, let's just like talk and hang out. And we weren't doing anything, so we'll come flirt with this guy, whatever. And he's just so charismatic. We're just talking, shooting the shit. I think he brought up sports, and at the time I was like a sports fan, so we talked a little bit. And then he just started talking about his game. He's like, if you guys want to play, you can just like play this game. It's $5 for 3 throws, you know, might as well, and we'll just keep talking. I was like, that's a good deal, $5, 3 throws, and it looks really easy. And he's like, well, I don't want you to think that this is like rigged or anything. I want to show you that this can be done because, you know, he must have seen us losing. So he demonstrated that it could be done. So he walks up, he's like a little off to the side of where I'm standing, where I have to stand to shoot. And he bounces it off the backboard, first try, right in the bucket. He's like, yeah, I can do this all day. Picks up the ball, does it again, picks up the ball, does it again. He does it like 3 times in a row, and it's like, okay, this game looks really easy. So then he hands me the balls. It's an absolute disaster. I'm sticking my dick in my own ass. I can't get a single ball even close to the bucket, no matter how lightly I throw it or where I'm hitting the backboard. For some reason, it's like it's being shot out of a cannon once it hits that backboard. And it's not making any sense to me because I'm doing like the exact same thing he is. I'm putting a little spin on it. It's just not getting the job done. Nothing's working. And then he hits me with this proposition. For $10, I'll give you 10 throws and I'll give you your money back from this round and the previous round and still give you the big prize. I was like, what in tarnation? This is the nicest guy on earth. What a great deal. 10 throws, $10, and I get all of my money back plus the big prize? What am I waiting for? I'm fucking losing money not playing right now. How am I going to say no to this? That right there is a huge red flag. I didn't know this until well after the fact, but this is a well-known carnival scam. When they start saying you could win your money back, they're doing that because they know you can't. The game is rigged. He shows me again, he's like, hey, let me just make sure you know that you can do this. Just do it just like this. So then he just makes it 5 more times right in front of me. Like, he just shows that it is very easily achievable. Hands me the balls, I go through all 10 balls, nothing even close. Like, sometimes you can get it to bounce off the backboard and hit the basket inside, but the ball's so light that it bounces right out, like every single time. So now I'm $15 in the shitter and I'm feeling really bad. Andrew's trying to be like the guardian angel on my shoulder, like, Charlie, let's just go ahead and leave. You're not going to make this. It's clearly too difficult and there's some trick to it you don't know. And I took that as a challenge. I'm like, excuse me, motherfucker, what did you say to me? You say I can't do this? Sign me up for another round, let's ride. And it's the same deal. He doubled the price again, so $20 for 10 balls, but I can win my money back. So for $20, I can win my $15 back, and then I'm back where I started, and everything's good, and I get the big prize. So again, I go through all 10 balls, nothing. Nothing at all. Now this is a lot of money. Again, this was $200, that's everything I had in my wallet, that's everything I had at the time for spendable cash. So this is a lot of money that I am juggling around here. We didn't go to the carnival with the intent to spend a lot, but just getting wrapped up in boredom and just like the will to not keep being a loser at the carnival just kept me spending. So after the $20, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is going on? You know, it's definitely a me problem. I've seen this fucking guy do it, 10 times now. Now let me paint a picture of the guy for you, because it's not like he was some kind of athlete where it's like, oh, this guy, he probably plays in the NBA, he's just got real talent. No, this guy had a body like a bag of hot dogs. Like, he is not some guru of backboard bouncing or anything. So clearly, if he can do it, I should also be able to do it. Anyone should be able to do it. So he demonstrates it's possible again. He's like, bro, look, I really hate to see you lose this much money. I'm not going to double the price this time. Look, just give me another $20. I'll give you 10 more throws, and you can win all your money back, and I'll still give you the prize. I'm like, thank you for being such a nice guy. Damn near wanted to lean over and pat him on the ass. I was like, man, this guy, what a saint. So I give him another $20, and I do my 10 throws, and you know how the story goes. It doesn't go in. None of them go in. They're not even close. So at this point now, what am I, $55, $60 down almost? And it's been like half an hour of just this. Andrew's sitting there watching this whole train wreck happen. And it's not getting any better. The guy's gone from charming to full-blown scam mode. He like completely drops the facade of being nice. After like the second time I did $20 for 10 throws, he's like, yep, you want to do 20 more? You can win your money back. You probably want that money back. So he starts guilting me into it, and I'm like, he's right. I need that money back. So I give him another $20. I go through the balls. It's not even close. I lose again, and I'm sweating. I am sweating so fucking hard. Andrew is begging me not to keep playing the game, but I'm seeing red now, and I can't stop. I have to. So I do 20 again for another 10 throws to try and win my money back. I don't do it. I fail again. This fucking, like, this guy is still just prodding, still trying to squeeze every cent out of me. I'm just this dude's little dirty cum rag that he's wringing out and getting some money from. So we continue for another, like, 15, 20 minutes or however long it was. It felt like an eternity, and I'm down to my last $20 in my wallet. And, you know, I'm praying, you know, fucking give that $20 a kiss, and I spend it. I rolled the dice, I went for it one more time, and I don't win. I'm now completely out of money. I tell him that, and I start to just ask if he could just give me some of it back. I'm desperate. I wanted some of it back. I needed some of it back. And he's like, bro, I just can't do that. My boss would be really mad at me if I let that happen. But look, there's an ATM over, like, it was like a couple blocks away. He told me the location. He's like, just go to the ATM, get some more money, come back, and I will absolutely show you the perfect tricks. You're just not getting the technique right, and I'll show you what you're doing wrong. So this piece of shit tried to get me to go to an ATM to get more money out to keep playing his game, which was rigged. There was no way to win from the start. I'm shocked he didn't try and get me to sign some kind of contract with blood, this fucking demon. And I strongly considered it. I did, because that's a lot of money. It was like $140 that I spent on that game. $200 in total at that fucking carnival, but on that game in particular, there was $140 right in the goddamn toilet, right into that stinky dumpster. And I needed that back. Like, I really wanted that back. But Andrew talked me out of actually going to get more money from the ATM, like from savings or something. And I didn't go back. I ate the loss. That, to date, is one of like the most shameful moments / scams of my life. Now, it wasn't until way after the fact, in fact, even on stream is where I learned how he was actually able to do it. I thought that I remembered on one of those shows that bust carnival games that are rigged. I thought the reason he was able to make it and I wasn't was the angle he was able to throw from. He was able to throw much closer than I was. In this game, there is a line that you have to throw behind. There is like a little barrier that you have to throw from behind that in order to participate. And I thought that was the key. He was closer than I was, and that's how he was able to ricochet it off every time into the basket. But it's actually deeper than that. That does play a role, but he actually used a heavier ball. He didn't use the exact same balls that he gave me. His ball was weighted more, so when it bounced off the backboard, it didn't fly as far. So he was able to get it off the backboard into the basket and have it stay in the basket. And that's why mine couldn't do it. It was something I never noticed at the time, that he wasn't using the same balls he was giving me. He had a heavier one, or a heavier set to use. So even if I went and somehow found $1,000 to put into that game that night, I would have never had a chance of winning my money back, despite this guy showing me how it was done and promising me that if I just made one single ball in that bucket, I'd get all my money back and all the problems would be solved. I still absolutely despise that guy. I hold a grudge on that shit. It takes a lot to scam someone right to their face, especially like an 18-year-old college student who is telling you how much the money means to him, and for you to knowingly keep misleading them and make them believe they can win it back and that you're a good guy. Like, you're a giant piece of shit. Besides the obvious lesson I learned from this experience, I also learned how to fuck them in the ass. The games that aren't rigged, I mastered. I decided I wanted to win all their big prizes because fuck them. I'm able to win their biggest prizes on my first try, and I just give those prizes away to people at the carnival so I never feel scammed again. It's definitely petty, but it's a little bit of revenge for what the carnival took from me on that night. So, I posted this video a few years ago, and it's showing me winning like the basketball game and the beer bottle game for the giant prizes. Both of these games are also rigged in favor of the carnival, but I was able to master the way of doing them. So the basketball game, the rim is an oval instead of a circle, so you have to have an absolutely perfect high arcing shot in order for it to make it. And for the beer bottle game, you have to lean at the right time and the right like distance lean, and you can stand it up every time. So I master these games, I get the big prizes, and I give that shit away. Just that way they lose a little bit of money on those prizes, a little bit of pettiness from Charlie. I'm like the fucking Batman of carnivals. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share this story. Maybe it'll be like educational for someone out there, but at the end of the day, I just thought it was a fun story. I'm over it now. I still don't like the guy who did that to me, but yeah, I just thought it was worth sharing. That's about it. See ya.